I have some shocking news. Your pedal board is too big. If you know me, you'll know that I love pedals. I just absolutely love having these little toys that we can put on the board and completely change our sound along the way. And yeah, I just find them super inspiring and super fun to use. And so over the years, I've had many different iterations of pedal board as my tastes have changed and things like that. But I've always had the kind of same size board. Now, it's never been absolutely humongous. It's been fairly sizable where I could have up to like 10 different pedals on there. I really felt that last year I was kind of overdoing it and compensating a little bit. And so for this year, I am setting myself the challenge of only gigging with a puny pedal board, forcing myself to adapt and enjoy what I've got there on the board, and that's it, no other toys to play with. I'm literally going to be implementing the term less is more when it comes to pedals. And so for today's video, I thought I'd just take you along on the journey as I rebuild my pedal board in a smaller form factor. I'm gonna A/B a couple of pedals, have a listen to a few different tones that we can get, etc, etc. For this demo, we'll be playing through my Ashdown Roasted Saint and then going into the Ashdown ABM Evo 3 plugin.
Let's take a listen, shall we?
So this is my current pedal board. Now, it is totally empty, and that is in preparation for this video. Ta-da! This is the Rockboard Quad 4.1 by Warwick. This is an incredible pedal board. We've got the little patch bay in here, the best pedal boards in my opinion. So then instead, I'm from now on going to be using this. It is another Warwick rock board, but this time the Duo 2.1. So much smaller. You can only fit, 6 or so pedals on here. But the power supply underneath I'm using, which is the Rockboard ISO PowerBlock V6 Plus, which has these kind of little switches you can change the output power on them. That's only got 5 slots on it, so I'm limiting myself to 5 pedals, which, for me in the past would have been a bit of a challenge, but I'm hoping Jonny of the future is going to be able to resist. So of course with any pedal boards you need a tuner at the start. I'm not doing clip-on tuners or anything like that, and I've got 2 of my favourite tuners in my possession. Number 1 being the Canvas tuner from Walrus Audio. The other favourite tuner of mine is the Korg Pitch Black Mini. Next up, I definitely want a compressor in here. I think I've drilled down my favourite is the MXR bass compressor. Now this is just the black edition, a special edition that they did. It's exactly the same as the white one that everyone knows and loves. Now, next up is a preamp, and this is something that I'm not sure which direction we're going to go with. I am torn between the Sansamp VT Bass DI from Tech 21 and the Jad Freer Capo. That kind of like SVT-ish, kind of more modern sound. These 2 are fantastic. This one I have gigged the most and absolutely love. The Jad Freer is just such a super premium piece of gear, but also, you've got the built-in drive, you've got all the really smart channeling on here as well. You can treat this like an amp, okay? So you can set, what I want to go before the amp and what I want to go after the amp, like after the preamp. So if you like your preamp at the start of your chain, you can put stuff in there. If you like it and if you want it before the preamp, you can put it there. But why wouldn't you just change the placement? Well, that's because you've got 2 direct outs, one of which is everything after the preamp and one is everything before the entire pedal. So you can have a completely clean DI out, which is really cool. It's such a nice thing to have. I think it's such a smart pedal. I love this thing. Now, next up is drive. I love drive pedals, as you probably know, and I like to have multiple gain stages in my sound. And what I mean by that is, a fairly dirty tone and then a slightly dirtier tone to switch to for those heavier sections. So these are the contenders for today, and I love each and every one of these pedals, so it makes it very hard. Number one is the Ground and Pound from Lucid Hand Devices, the Barefaced Machinist, the Big Booty Judy from Backburner Noise, the Dark Glass Camos. We also have the Ashdown Triple Shot. Now we do have some miscellaneous spots on the board that we could fill. I've got this wiretap from TC Electronic that allows you to record all of your sounds. The Dark Glass Element, the Origin Effects DCX. And then we have an old pedal, the Zoom Multi-Stomp. I've gigged this a couple of times and it's really, really nice. So there we go. This is all the gear that we're going to be playing with. Now you might say, what's the point? Why not just have like an HX Stomp or something? And I've got two HX Stomps. I use them all the time, but I don't ever like using them for live stuff that much. My opinion on that might change over time, but I want a full analog board for this and just some toys that I can play with and kind of switch some things in and out as we go. But the challenge remaining is that everything just has to fit on here so that I'm not going too crazy. Let's see how it goes. I'm gonna test out all of this first before deciding on the tuners, just because that is only going to depend on how much room we have on the board. So now we are going into the board, into the compressor, into our two preamps that are going to shoot out now, and then into the Mixwave Ashdown ABM plugin, because I use Ashdown amps live, and so I wanted to kind of try and emulate that a little bit. So totally clean sounds like this. Sounds pretty good by itself. Turning on the compressor. It's just tidying things up and giving it a little bit more punch and rasp. Let's now shoot out between these two. This is the VT bass. The SansAmp has more of a well-rounded sound, I'd say. Like, it sounds like a consistent punch in the face. Whereas the Capo, there's a slight frequency where it sounds a little bit hollow almost. However, this has the built-in drive. It has way more stuff going on to play around with. So it's a bit more flexible. For a little board, maybe this is what I want. I'm just going to play around with this drive. Okay, I think I'm going to go with the Capo. It's given me a bit more of an expensive sound. There's a bit more top end to play with, I think. And yeah, we can change the mid frequency. Again, they're both able to go for that SVT style thing, but I think this just gives me a little bit more with that drive. And yeah, that is a beautiful, beautiful sound on there with really easy control. So I think I'm going to go with the Capo. Now we're going to try out the Ashdown Triple Shot. Going clean from the Capo. It's super modern sounding, I think. At the minute, we've got no drive on the dark side. I'm going to turn that up ever so slightly. Mids is punching through a little bit. Light is punching through. On the balance on the drive on this side is fairly even. This is really nice, but let's try out another drive just to see. Do you know what? I think I kind of prefer this to the triple shot acting as an on-off, because the triple shot kind of gives it more of an aggressive sound, whereas this is a little bit more subtle in a way. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Okay, this is the Big Booty Judy. It's a rat clone, like I said. Totally clean, sounds like this. This is a very, very nice pedal. Damn it. I think for like a secondary drive, I kind of want something over the top. And yeah, this is giving me that right now. It's really, really nice. Okay, this is the Forerunner at the minute, I think. The Machinist by Barefaced. Totally clean, paralleled. Sounds like this. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. This is very, very nice. That Alpha Omega. So this is the final build of the board, starting on the right hand side with the Canvas tuner by Walrus Audio. Again, like I said, I was able to fit it on and I absolutely love it. From here, we're going into the MXR bass compressor. Then we're jumping over to this side of the board, going into the input of the capo, where it then goes off to the amp. But then in the pre section, so stuff going before the preamp, we have got these two pedals here, the KMOs, then into the Big Booty Judy. So essentially what we've got here is 3 different drives and an octave, and a clean DI out, and the compressor, and the preamp. So much in one little board. It's really useful. Yeah, it could have a multi-effects, but where's the fun in that, right? This is it totally clean, just going into the Ashdown plugin again. It sounds great by itself. Now let's add the layers in. So there we go. Let me know in a comment down below what you think about this new pedal board and what combination you would have chosen. Personally, I'm super excited to play this iteration of the board in a live scenario, and I'm quite impressed with how many different usable sounds I've managed to get on such a small board. Now you might be thinking, oh, why not just use the HX Stomp, or why not just go full digital and have even more stuff to play with? But if I'm honest, when I'm playing live, I always like having that tactile response that I could twist a knob and instantly see, oh yeah, treble change, rather than having to click a button, go into a setting, go over here, change that, adjust that, okay, save that, do that, you know. I don't know, in a live scenario, I want to be able to make it quick, essentially. I'm very good at that. I'm really looking forward to challenging myself to limit my options for what I can take to a gig. And maybe I'll check in next year, see where we're at, and see what I learned along the way as well. Did I really need all those pedals on there before, or was it just something to kind of scratch my ego and make it look like I've got all the toys? But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't tend to focus too much on pedals on this channel anymore, so definitely go and follow me on Instagram if you want to see more pedal content from myself, where I do little demos and little pedalboard builds now and then. Well, if you like what you saw on here, make sure you go down and click that subscribe button, as well as checking out all the useful links down in the description, such as links to my podcast for bass players and a lot more. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.